Nappy music.
Tell them your name, Philly, 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 and what you do, win, and who you with, Philly, 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 bird call. Tell them your name, Philly, 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 and what you do, win, and who you with, Philly, 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 bird call. Bird call, we gonna win it all. Used to be the underdogs, now the mask's on at last, y'all. Do it again and make this feeling last long. As soon as the smoke clears, it's time to blast off. Eat scrapple, play scrappy, stay happy. Drive hard, can't pass me, ain't classy. Move fast me, do bash teams if you trash me. I'm a product of immigration to Philly, this nappy. Tell them your name, I did it, I'm committed. Even the Bible said Philadelphia was one of the places God was sitting. We winning, Wiz Whitney, St. Nicky, we tricking. Philly special, stay lifted. Other cities are scared of us and they should be. City of brotherly love, if you ain't one of us, I would be. Keeping it to yourself if you like someone else, or you might have to be dealt with in the parking lot, cause the devil's out. Tell them your name, Philly, 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 and what you do, win, and who you with, Philly, 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 bird call. City of champions, foes brought the magic in. Jalen Hurts the second, ain't no question that we damaging. What's happening? It ain't a party till the jazz is in. Let's keep the talk to the game. It's not about the practice it. AI can speak for the city when we show up in this game time. Bird gang, Eagles, we stay fly, stay high. Liberty one with this.
Mike Nappy.
If you ain't wearing green, you should have been a hate crime. I'm from the outskirts of Philly. Hey Willie, rock the beat, rock the mic all over the world, but stay Philly.
Tuesday night,
Times I get rocked or they hit me.
100% live. My man, Mike Nappy. He'll be on the show in a couple weeks. Bird call. Oh, yeah. Get yourselves over to nappymusic.com, www.nappymusic.com. Check out the songs. Check out Bird Call. And we are ready, ladies and gentlemen, for a Tuesday night 100% live episode of The Show. Don't worry, folks. Jewel Taney will be along shortly. A little bit of work training, and she'll be with us. The song Bird Call, the man Mike Nappy, local singer. He'll be on the show in a few weeks. And man, why not Bird Call? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The O Show. I am Jeff the Shark Perini. Jewel Tater will be with me shortly. Massive hello to everybody out there. It is a Tuesday night. I'm off tomorrow. We're going to have ourselves a great time because tonight, one of my favorite dudes from my favorite programs, and you've been lucky enough to see me on there a few times, the wild and unpredictable for adults only. The awesome Happy Hour podcast, and Mr. Ray Chace will join us tonight, 8:30. Ray Chace from the Happy Hour podcast. Going to talk about their trip to Exxxotica this past weekend, one of the biggest adult-themed parties in the world, and a con that rooms. And man, did it look great. Our man Brent Worrell was out there taking some great pictures. Looked awesome. We're going to talk to Ray about that, his show, his beginnings in entertainment, and so much more. Whew. Took a lot to get that Bird Call. Gets me very pumped. Let's thank, not really last week's guest, but I guess 2 weeks ago, when the awesome horror actress Jessa Flux was here with us. So we thank Jessa for coming on for our Halloween episode. Joel and I dressed up as always. We had a great time, and Jess was cool. And yeah, that was 2 weeks ago, because last week we actually took off for Halloween, and maybe the disappointment of all, we took off and everybody said, not much going on. Jewel said her neighborhood was light. Mine was very light. I was also under the weather. So yeah, October and spooky season kind of went past me with a whimper, not a bang. It happens. Ray had some great episodes, and I think, man, next year, wow, we're going to do a lead-up to Halloween like Ray did. Around 8:30 tonight, it is Ray Chace at Happy Hour Pod. We got some pictures from Exxxotica that we're going to ask him what went on and talk all about that. And it's fun when you do podcast to podcast, like another podcast or a webcast or show, wherever you want to say it comes on. I call it show. That's kind of like the term. And it's good to have them on to find out what motivates them, what drives them, and get the inside scoop. Not the secrets. The secrets, people easy. People are entitled to their secrets. So it makes them unique. A lot to talk about. I know Jewel will be here shortly. We'll wait for the top 5. But the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, should have been in green tonight. It's orange, kind of fits the happy hour scheme. But the Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys. And what was a great game. And look, I'm not going to sit here, a little dry night. I'm not going to sit here and act like Dallas is not a decent football club. Do they have the talent? Yes. Are they a decent football club? Yes. Are they clutch enough to win big games? No. Just not clutch enough. Earl, Bear, Reigns in the house. Dude, good to see you again. What is up? I have a fun night lined up for you, dude. We're going to play some music videos also. In case you were wondering, Barely Legal was originally supposed to be the guest. They had to cancel out. I contacted Ray because I wanted to do this for a while with Ray, but set it up a little better. I'm like, hey, man, let's cross over. Let's do shows. And he said, yeah, I'll come on yours tonight and we'll talk. And pretty cool. So that's around 8:30. It's good to see Bear. And it's good to see, like, the regulars who come back to your show. And I know Ray's got some. We have some here. Earl and JD and some people just watch on the reg and they hit me up like, oh, man, I was watching this, that, and the other thing. So that's pretty cool. So we love that. And hopefully more appearances on Ray's show, too. That's the other side of Jeff. But, yeah, man, getting back. Eagles beat Dallas. And I don't get it, man. If I'm the coach of another team, I'm doubling A.J. Brown all day. I'm checking him off at the line. I'm bumping him. Whew, dude's incredible. What a great asset for our Eagles to have A.J. Brown right now. He was awesome. Hurts, of course, was awesome. Defense made the stops when they had to. Looked a little shaky for a while, and everybody started getting hurt. Dallas Goedert's hurt. He's got the forearm injury. And kind of a mess near the end. Came down to when I say the wire, I mean they won that game by like 1 yard. Drives me crazy. From something that drives me crazy to someone that does not drive me crazy. Folks, after this awesome weekend that we all hung out, I tell you, this woman realized more and more how much she means to my life, my Tuesday night life, and doing what we do here at the Yo Show, etc. She is the co-hostess with the mostest, the sister from another mister, and by golly, the most beautiful face in podcast, webcast, broadcast, simulcast, podcast. Everybody, let's give it up for Jewel Tatey. Jewel, good evening.
Good evening. How are we doing?
Good evening. We're doing great. First of all, let's stop everything and everywhere because Jewel has smack talked a bit about her possessions that I gather and keep. Jewel, show everybody what you finally accumulated last weekend. The Strange Culture shirt is in the house.
Woo!
Jewel was the only one that came on and on the T-shirt winning episode and entered and won.
I won this, and I'm so proud.
We're proud of you, and I'm proud of you for wearing it. Right, by far and away our favorite band, and was going to get that maybe into a little bit later. Earl, of course, in the house. Bear Reigns in the house tonight. Good to see you.
Hello.
We'll do top 5, and then we'll talk about this weekend. I also lined up like 6 songs for us to play, too. After Ray comes on. 6. We'll see.
All right.
Well,
so that kind of night, huh? Okay.
Not really, but we'll see how the mood strikes us. Top 5 in honor of Ray Chace. Jewel and I, the Yo Show podcast, are doing it real, legit, and cool. Top 5 podcast do's or don'ts.
And go birds.
And go birds.
Yeah. And Mike Nappy. Dude, I was getting ready. I'm like,
oh, man, right?
Perfect intro song, man.
Dude, I was feeling it. We used to do St. Ricketts, and I love them, but I was feeling like, you know what? Big Eagles win. Something to start off the rant here. And, it was awesome. Love Mike Nappy. He'll be on in a few weeks.
I know. I'm so excited.
Very excited. Love Mike. So positive, too. Makes you get done talking to him, and you feel like you can just conquer the world.
You seriously do. Like, he makes you just want to wake up and be like, today is my day. Let's do the damn thing.
Nappy way. Oh, okay. Before top 5, Jewel, how about tonight in honor of last Sunday's victory. A nice can of Go Birds Hazy Pale Ale by the fellas over at Flying Fish Brewery.
I'm so jealous because I was at the beer store earlier and they have like a Dreams and Nightmares. I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Ooh.
I don't know if I could commit to like a 6-pack though, because what if I don't like it? I guess I can give it to you.
We'll go halves. I was listening to that song on the way home too. It's funny you said it. That song gets me jacked up. I'm not near the rap fan that you are or had the knowledge, but man, that song, I was on the way home from work, getting ready for the night, and it was just pumping the juice, man.
Even the non-rap fans, hip-hop fans know every word to that damn song. If you're a Philly fan.
Because it's got some rock and some strength to it too. Like it's a powerful song on top of rap, and I love it.
Meek Mill, his beats are one of my favorites of artists that do it right.
That song is now, Jewel, you're always my my hip advice columnist. So is that song fire or is that song the shot?
I don't like either of those. I don't say either.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know it's not the bomb. That's like the 80s.
Well, yeah. And the kids say, like, Duck will say, oh, it's more so food, though. She's like, oh, that slaps. I guess she'll say fire.
That slaps. Right. For damn.
Or sick. Or, I don't know. Remember they used to say ill? That fell out real quick.
Dope. Used to be dope. It was ill.
Well, ill was cool because it was Philly, and then the Phillies would turn into the whatever.
True.
I used ill way too much in high school, let me just say.
Hey, let's say hello to the Snowman, Brian Snowman from Snowman Multimedia. Jewel does an awesome job calling the sporting events. Got to check him out, Snowman Multimedia. And he really brings home the sports, dude. I got to get on that show sometime.
She didn't come up on my lap all day when I was working, and she just knew it was showtime, so she had
top
to show
five.
off.
Top five don't quit. That's perfect. And that's not even on my list because how much I suck at this. All right, top 5 podcast do's and don'ts. Number 5, don't be a copycat.
Yeah. Number 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Right? Don't be a copycat. Me and Ray talk about
Writers.
like, you got a guest you like, I'll help you, and vice versa. Like I said, Danica Wild, and then tomorrow night, Vividly Vixen. Like we help each other do that kind of stuff. Very excited for Vividly Vixen, by the way, Jewel. I'm also excited for Danica Wild to get on Ray's show in December. Or January, I think. December, January? Oh, Ray will tell us. He'll be here at 8:30.
Over here.
He'll be with us at 8:30. He'll give us a rundown. Number 4, do some solid research. Like, you don't have to, 24/7 it, but Jewel always comes in with notes, and she's pulled off through the years, Jewel, stuff that you say to the guests are like, wow, how'd you know that? So dig, man. Do a little research. Your guests have fun with it, too. Don't talk over your guests. Jeff has an awful habit of doing this sometimes.
Man, I don't think you do.
Sometimes, because I get so excited about a thought. I do it on Ray's show too. I was like something comes to
sometimes you have to interject, and that's what makes it a conversation. But yeah, I think giving the artists and guests room to breathe, it's always important.
I think so. Don't talk too much about yourself. I don't find myself that interesting. So, so the guest is getting into something. I like, what?
You know, his champ at that was Bonaduce.
You said that, and you had worked with Bonaduce, and you said that he would talk over the guest and talk over everybody in the studio. Like, wow.
Talk about himself a lot. Yeah.
I met him. It's not that
Love you,
big.
Danny.
He's a big dude, though. Danny's jacked. So we love it, dude. Talk more about yourself. We'll do it here. Once a week, we'll have a Bonaduce night here on the Yo Show. And number 1, have fun. If you ain't having fun, bag it, folks. It's all about having fun. So we do here. Jewel Tatey, your top 5. Let's get the banner up here. Podcast do's and don'ts. And you can put don't be a copycat 5 times. It's cool.
Mine's all over the place because I did 5 cons and 5 pros. It's pretty illegible. Number 5 was have a love for the craft. I grew up loving radio, wanted to be in radio, so podcasting was a great gateway to just expose me and people, and I just think it's great. And I think that if you have a fun idea and you want it out there, it's just like sites like StreamYard just make it happen.
Yeah.
And
No,
YouTube.
I have a love for the craft too. That was what
Yeah.
Feruza Balk. She was sexy in that. Rachel
Love
True.
her.
Yeah, that's
He's
the craft.
sorry.
Yeah.
He's sorry. Yeah, it's my
That's
girl.
me loving the craft.
She's also the worst witch with Tim Curry. I just watched that when she's a
Wow.
little girl.
Yeah.
Number 4, creativity. Express yourself and, have the freedom to do so. Oh, no, number 3 was freedom. Number 3 is freedom to do your own thing. Radio can be pigeonholed sometimes. Shut up, I'm just going with it.
All right, I'm with you.
We were approached by radio stations, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
me and Jeff decided that this is our baby and we're going to work the show how we see fit. And it's proven to be just a road of more happiness that way when you can actually like mold something and build and grow it the way you want it to. So
meanwhile, Jeff was told in a phone interview that the FCC gets involved. I'm like, okay, we are out.
yeah.
Yeah.
And no drinking.
Right, no drinking. Oh my God, right, no drinking. And they want to put us on like 5 in the morning.
No cursing, no drinking.
No cursing, no drinking, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
What? Oh, and no music. They didn't want music either.
And no music. Which brings me to number 2, which is music. I mean, God, that's why we started this thing, our love of music and people that we're fans of, artists, people, actors, actresses that we've seen on the screen that we actually got to interview. I said a million times, if you would have told a 16-year-old me I'd be interviewing Hal Sparks and Jamie Kennedy, I would have just died right there. So it's just so amazing, which brings it to number 1, which is the people, having a great co-host and building this community of just awesome people. And it just continues to expand. And Ray is becoming a huge part of that, just like combining efforts and helping each other out, which is what it should be. We like that brotherly love here in the city of Philadelphia. A lot of our bands help each other out. So we like to do that among the podcast. Maria Daniels, Tina, like all those people have just been a huge help as well. So yeah, people trying not to get choked up right now. So
it's great. And I might get a little choked up. Ray's probably sitting backstage like, fuck, this isn't the same guy that comes on my show. Who's this weenie?
I'm like 3 hours sleep right now. I can't.
You guys from talking about porn to being a white weenie.
Hey, Ray, just warning you. It's fine. This can be the wild show. It's fine.
Podcast do's and don'ts. Number 5, don't be a copycat. Seriously. Number 4, do some solid research. Number 3, don't talk over your guest. I do it sometimes. Number 2, don't talk too much about yourself. I don't, because I don't find myself that much cooler than our guests. Number 1, have fun. If you're not having fun, why the fuck are you doing it? Thank you, Earl Range. Yo Show rocks. We appreciate that. Jules, top 5.
Rock.
Love for the craft. Again, tie between Rachel True and Feruza Balk. I'm confused, but love for the craft. Number 4, creativity. Number 3 is freedom. Number 2, music, of course. Of course. Number 1 is the people. And like I said, Joel, everybody has their own different flavor of it. And we're going to talk about that with Ray as well. It just amazed me how so many people with the same drive, the same goal, all do it so differently. And it's well, like you go on Ray's show, and no offense to what we do, I love what we do too. To go there and think, man, it's so different. It's almost like you're at your boy's house watching some porn star getting silly. And you're having fun with it and you're laughing with it and here, like I said, people say to me, like, you're informative, you guys dig, but digging for the positive reasons, the music, the background stories, all that. So man, like everybody does it different. Some people got a great approach. Some people, but JD Wolf in the house, another one of our great regulars. And that's some of the magic too. When you talk about the people, the regulars, Jewel, that come out, the J.D. Wolfs, the Bear Rains, Brian Snow stopping, and of course he's part of it. Ray has some of his regulars that come on, and people that really enjoy us. And I've been emailed, messaged, whatever, from a lot of people say, look, to me, it makes a difference. I build around your show. My week goes around your show. I always catch your show, etc. That's pretty massive. Like people are like, oh, you have X amount of listens. No, man, when you get one person that says you make a difference in their week, every second's worthwhile.
It really is. And it's really weird when you go to places and parties and people know your name and your face, and you're like, oh, hey. It's a little strange. But as you were saying about different approaches, when we first started this, I really didn't listen to any podcasts. I really didn't. I like the idea of them, but there just wasn't one that had my attention enough that I would regularly listen to it. So once we got into it and we got the flow, I started to watch other ones.
Yeah.
And like you said, some are great and some are really funny. And, you know, you take bits and pieces. And I definitely have my heroes of radio and podcasting that I aspire to be like. And great interviewers too, because I just love hearing a great interview. But also that's funny and real. But yeah, I mean, some people fall flat, but you know, you can't blame a person for trying. And in this realm of internet, everyone can get their fair share of and just getting their message out, whatever they want to do.
And unfortunately for me, there's only like 4 or 5 of us that are really good at it.
It's just me. I'm the best. It's fine.
Anyway, I'm number one. You know my ego.
You're so egotistical, Jeff.
I'm so egotistical and malicious.
No one's more malicious than Jeff Brady.
Absolutely.
Ted Lasso over here.
Ted Lasso, Spears and Daggers. And like the one thing I learned this weekend, again, hold the myths back, is that me and Jewel really do have an awesome bond. Jewel, not to embarrass you, but you said you're like my best friend. And you become like my best friend. Maybe we talk about everything.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep. We're gonna do karate, but yeah, we locked into it, and it's cool. And immediately, like people are like, oh, opposite sex, this, that, and the other thing. That never comes off. You don't even think about like opposite sex thing, nothing. You think about just being with your buddy. And me and Jewel, my wife, made our way up to Pizza Cosmo there, the great PC pub, hung out, caught Strange Culture, was awesome. We'll talk about it a little later. And yeah, man, the bond, it's real. That's the other thing. I mean, about like we said about be real about podcasting. Man, if we didn't get along, shit would never work.
I don't know how people do it together that don't get along.
Amen.
It's got to be mad awkward.
Well,
which it
I
can
guess
be sometimes.
I guess we'll find out how people do it with people they don't like, because I get to be a guest co-host sometimes on this program, and I know Ray absolutely hates my guts. So we're going to ask him how it feels when you're doing a show with somebody you hate. JD, thank you. Great to see you out this weekend, especially. Thank you. Yeah, we had a great time. Our guest tonight, Jewel, is the host and creator of probably, besides ours, my most favorite podcast right now, the Happy Hour Podcast. It's funny. It's unpredictable. It's kind of improv and off the hook. It's awesome. And let's bring out the mastermind behind it, Mr. Ray Chace. Ray, what's up, brother?
What's going on, man? I apologize if my voice fades out a little bit. I'm actually a little bit under the weather, but you always work. That's the way it is. Like the show goes on no matter what. I learned that from pro wrestling. I've wrestled beaten up. I've wrestled sick. You know, that's just the way it works, especially when you're live. But what's going on, everybody out there on Twitch? Of course, you know, you guys, Roku, Fire TV as well on Pod Nation TV. So shout out to everybody out there. Jeff, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we absolutely had to do it. You were kind enough to have me on a few times. Try to get Jewel, and I told Jewel she's getting lured in soon. It's going to happen, and she's going to talk to one. We're going to get her from one of our favorite porn stars. We need some guy porn stars.
Yeah, bring Ron Jeremy on. I'll be right there.
Well, I would if he wasn't in prison. And
is he? Oh God!
Oh yeah!
I just saw him on a movie. I mean, not that kind of movie. God, I'm walking into it already.
I bet you did.
It was actually a Jamie Kennedy movie. It's called Heckler, but Ron Jeremy was in it.
Okay.
Not Jesus Christ.
You should see the horror movie he did where his penis detaches itself and starts killing people. That's a fun
Jesus Christ. What was it called? Do you know? It had to have a funny name.
I can't remember the name of it. It was years ago when I saw it. I'd never seen the movie. I saw a trailer for it, but I never seen the trailer of it like running on legs or whatever. And all. I was just like, God. That was back when I drank way too much. I was like, I'm way too drunk for all of this. And yeah.
Yeah, is that a penis running down the street, bro? Yeah, that's
terrifying.
That's a lot for me. This is the kind of great information you get when me and Ray get together. So, Jewel, get ready for it because it's red hot.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm ready. So nice to finally meet you.
Yeah. And as I said, like I was messaging Jeff a little bit on Facebook or whatever. I was like, you guys are probably going to get a little bit more of a monotone version of me tonight. Because I don't know, it's weird because like when you do other
Appreciate
shows,
that.
like you want to kind of fit like the vibe of their show.
Yeah.
I'm a big adjustments guy. I'm a big reading the room type guy. I guess it's from all the years of performing live, being in a wrestling ring, reading what the crowd is reacting to. It's like, you're just kind of there and you're like, all right, well, we did this and they're dead. Let's go to this and see if we can
Yeah.
get a little bit of, something out of them. So
You've
Good way
watched
to
us
be.
before then, huh? You're dead.
Anyway,
But I
this
I admire, like I said, you talk about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And you talk about going live and performing in front of people. Of course, I wanted to ask you that because you mentioned how it gives you a great ability to do improv. Talk about
Yeah.
wrestling, man, how grueling it was and the worst injuries you might have suffered because that's a big deal.
Well, first of all, and Jeff, this isn't in camera now, but normally it is. But this is displayed on there, and this is one of many of the championship belts I have. I'm actually going through getting them made up. And Jeff, the HH Pod Championship, the HH Pod Rumble title, made by the same guy who did this belt. But no, like, man, like I was about to cuss. I'm not sure if you guys cuss on your show. I'm so used to my show, but no, it's like. The whole thing is with wrestling, like I started doing that when I was 13 years old, man.
Wow.
So,
Jesus.
13 years old, being beaten up by guys who are in their 30s, 40s, whatever, just having the hell beaten out of you. And 19, I wrestled my first match. So, I mean, I wrestled my final match in 2021. So that's about roughly two years ago. So
Jesus.
roughly about 23 years of being beaten up and, 5 concussions, probably borderline, CTE a little bit. There's times where like I'm sitting here, even like when I'm getting the show ready and I grab some of the incoherent cards, I'll sit
They're there.
and I'll kind of freeze up and I'll
Yeah.
be like, what was I just doing? And
Wow.
I have to, and it takes me like 3 seconds to kind of re-register of, oh, that's it. And that's the little things from all the, being hit in the head, all that stuff. I think I didn't really get like a lot of bad injuries. I think the worst one I had was when I got the 15 staples in the back of my head.
Oh,
And that was, we used to do every year at EWA. Shout out EWA. Of course, this is the EWA Heavyweight Championship. I'm in their Hall of Fame. They would do double ring ladder matches and it'd be like 6 to 8 guys, whatever. I was slated to win the match, pull the contract down, become number 1 contender. And there was a spot that we did in the match, and it's a very basic spot. You see it in every ladder match. They push the ladder and you fall over and you hangman yourself on the rope and bounce back.
yeah.
So, all right, whatever, easy spot. Do it. Hangman myself. And I just feel this impact in the back of my head. And I was like, what the? It just happened. And like I'm sitting there, I thought my opponent kicked me in the head, and I'm sitting, and he's in the corner, he's all the way over in the other corner, and I'm like, oh, like I feel like I'm gonna black out. And the next thing I start to taste like that salt taste in my mouth,
Oh,
and I was just bleeding profusely all the way down. And apparently, what happened is when he pushed me, the ring moved and the ladder started to just teeter. And
oh
when
my
I
God.
hit the ropes and bounced back, the ladder clipped the corner of the ring, clipped me in the head and
God.
hit me open about that deep in the back of my head.
Oh.
And in Maryland, you're not allowed to bleed. You're not allowed to, you have to stop the match instantly. I'm supposed to win this match. The contract hanging there. So I take this like broken ladder, put it up, climb real quick, grab it down, boom, drop down, and then go in the back, get all bandaged up, have to go get like the 12 staples. And that's weird. I'm not sure if you guys have ever had staples, but getting 2 needles this long in the back of your head and then hearing the staple gun go into your head. Yeah.
Wow.
And I got drunk and just had my friend pull him out a week later. So
Oh my God. And how old were you then when you got the staples?
that was, let's see, that was 2011. So that was about a year after I met my wife. So, and that night, 3 of us ended up in the hospital because I remember they were like, there's 2 other guys here. I think it was Apollo Crews and somebody else that ended up in GBMC down here in Baltimore that same night. So yeah, so that was 2011. So let's see, I was probably about like 27, 28, maybe there. Yeah, 27. So, but
Damn.
yeah.
I mean, that's a long career. You started when you were 13. Did you ever do like backyard wrestling, or was it just like legit in school?
I did. And the thing is I told everybody, I was like, doing backyard wrestling will get you nowhere. It really will. Anybody out there, anybody watching this, you want to be a wrestler, sign up, go do it. Like, I've always been a do type person. Jeff knows, like, he's been on my show. I'm always a do type person. Doing backyard wrestling, it'll never make up for how badly you're being beaten up, because you don't know what, like, granted, pro wrestling, you get the hell beaten out of you. It is predetermined. You are very, very trained, but the injuries are real. And if you're not trained and you're doing backyard and you're hurting yourself, it's like, at least do something where you can at least live a little bit and have notoriety and be able to do cool things. And, that's what got me familiar with the podcast. Like, I was watching a little bit before you guys started or whatever and all that. To this day, I still have no idea how to do a podcast. None whatsoever. I woke up one day and I retired from pro wrestling, and I was like, I have no idea what the hell to do with myself. Zero. And I had a TV show way back in the day. It was called Happy Hour TV. It was kind of similar. We would just kind of, go to the strip club, interview Jesse Jane, interview Nikki Benz, all that. And someone was like, why don't you just do that, but as a podcast, and you can do it from your house? I'm like, it's a good idea. That's something that, keeps me occupied. It's something that kind of keeps me entertaining. Like, and that's the kind of thing. You're not really a wrestler. You're an entertainer. Like that. Yeah. That's the way it is, at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, so it helps out, early stages of the show. If you watch, a lot of the earlier episodes are on Roku and Fire TV now on Pod Nation. You see a lot of it. We had a lot of questions. Like, I prepared a lot of questions, but it kind of gave me the same thing in wrestling when they would hand me a script and they would be like, say this in your promo. And it would be terrible. And I would tear it up. I would throw it in the trash can. I would just be like, give me 3 bullet points. Boom, 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 boom. One take. I would get it and that'd be it. And then we'd go home. And so eventually, after a while, I was just like, this isn't working. We had something go wrong with a guest. I forgot what it was. I think a guest no-showed, something like that. And me and Matt were like, all right, well, there goes our plan. We called the whole show on the fly, just talked. And we were like, you know what? This is it. This is what we need to do. We need to just be able to go out and just boom, 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 boom. And that's what I've done ever since. Like, I have very minimal notes. We have so many different gimmicks that we do in the show, gimmicks, segments, all that fun stuff that, just kind of builds up and has that wrestler type background that I have, that I incorporate into that show in ways that people don't realize that I'm incorporating that stuff into the show. So.
And those are some of my favorite episodes, just when the guest doesn't show and we just have to like rip on each other and then just go off the cuff. Like it just makes it more fun. And you can also relax a little bit, because sometimes when you have a guest, I mean, for me, I get so nervous. So it kind of, takes the pressure off a little bit, but
yeah. Well, I mean, it's weird because some people are like that. Like me, like it's crazy because people are like, man, you've had a lot of big guests. I mean, granted, like our show has mainly taken the form of adult film. It wasn't like that in the beginning. In the beginning, we had a little bit of everybody. Like, if you look at the older episodes, we had CJ Graham, who played Jason. We had Doug Bradley. We had Tawny McClure. We had Wes Scantlin from Puddle of Mud.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's a great landing too.
All these people, but then the niche of the adult film world started to kind of, steer the ship a little bit. That's where more of the numbers were, where more of the views were, and for a while it was like throwing spaghetti against the wall, seeing what sticks. And that's what stuck. And then we got the AVN nomination for Best Adult Podcast.
Oh, dude,
that's
that's massive.
Here. I'm like, okay, this is our direction that we need to go, and it's like, nobody's paying me otherwise to not do that. So that's the direction we're going to head, in the direction of, how it's going to work, until someone comes out and goes, hey, we're going to give you this set amount of money to do this and do that and do this and do that. And it's just kind of like, okay, well, we'll see what happens.
I have to agree. And, we were in the beginning a little bit of everything. We would do authors and actors and podcast people. And not that we've shied away from that, but one day it was kind of like, all right, let's also do a lot of music, follow the local artists, get them in. And that kind of became our niche a little bit. I mean, we're still in everything entertainment, like you are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great looking adult films.
Well, I mean, really the heart of the show, the bread and butter of the show, obviously it's called the Happy Hour Podcast. We drink, we have fun. I came from a very wild crew of guys. That's just how it was. Like, you watch movies like The Hangover and, all that stuff. And those are the type of guys that we were, that, we hung out with. Like, wild stuff would happen. And, I was just like, hey, I want to have a show where we sit down and we have guests and we just drink and just laugh about really stupid things or things that I think are funny, but are really stupid. And it clicks. It works. It's like having one big, hangout. And that's that. And of course, we have the videos. Jeff, you've seen it. We played some really insane videos. We did Smash or Dash, the Halloween edition, which was hilarious. It was great.
It was great. I don't know if you've seen
that.
it.
Yeah. What's up, Cassie? How are you?
My wife is in the house. She loves your show too. She, she said that, I love the nice little circle you build in this community with good people. She said, like Ray, of course, loves Jewel. We hung out this past weekend. Like, there are a lot of good people to latch onto in this field and enjoy, man.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like me, I'm very selective with who I collaborate with. Very, very, very selective, and that's mainly because of me coming from the wrestling background. Yeah. Because I've performed on so many bad shows that after a while I got to the point of I'm only doing shows that are paying me, and I'm only doing shows where someone's not going to drop me on my head and kill me. And, I'm kind of like that with so many other shows. And I mean, Jeff, like, me and you talked, I met you and I was like, Jeff's a hustler and bustler like I am, all that stuff. So when the Pod Nation thing came through, I was like, hey, Jeff's a hustler like I am, he's passionate about his product, let's make sure these guys have an end, I mean, that's the thing. I'm one of those types of guys that happen with wrestling and, even with other stuff, people come and go, hey, I have this idea. Do you think I should do it? Yeah, sure. If you have an idea, do it. Like, you never know what's going to happen until you try the ideas. So, Jeff, Jewel, if you guys ever sit there and you're like, hey, I want to try this on the show, but I'm not sure how it's going to work, just try it. If it doesn't get over, just move on. I mean, I've changed so many different segments, whatever, and all that, mainly to keep things fresh and to keep people kind of questioning what's going on, or we'll advertise one guest and then there'll be a different guest. Like I always say every week, it's going to be me guaranteed. You don't know if Jeff's going to be with me. You don't know if Matt's going to be with me. You don't know if Joel's going to be with me. You don't know if Eric Woodworth, Tommy Sambaza, or local comedy friends. You don't know who's going to be here, until we actually go live. So I don't know who's going to be there until we go live. So that's the whole thing.
And they still might be there as you're going live. Stuff happens all the time.
Yeah. And like I said, like you talk about gimmicks, segments, we tried to do a T-shirt giveaway for our favorite band here, Strange Culture. And Jewel won the T-shirt because she's the only one that entered. So sometimes things don't stick,
Yeah, I was doing that for a while where I was doing guest to guest. And I would put like little hints that people were doing. And then it just started to filter out. Like, Jeff, with our show, we did what is it?
The Rumble. Super Fight. Yeah, right. Super Fight.
And I was like, hey, everybody in the live stream, you decide who wins the fight. And everybody stopped. So I'm like, all right, well, we're going to decide who wins the fight now because nobody wants to partake. You want to.
It's like when you need them to participate.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like I said, we get the regulars and you do the two, like Jason Rutschman. It was so cool. We got to catch up to you guys. And we got, like JD Wolf, my wife, and Bear Rains, and some local artist people. And you get the regulars and you want them to chime in and get their opinion. It's like everybody's show. Am I right? Like, you want everybody to kind of have the show.
and that's the thing. I'm sure Jason, he'll probably watch this if he's not watching it already, because he tunes into anything we do. It was so great meeting that kid at Exxxotica. He was there, and we did something that we haven't done in a long time. We did our old school happy hour initiation. And Jeff, I think we talked a little bit about it on Friday. And when we did the TV show, we were constant at Larry Flint's Hustler Club. And we were always there. We were always recording. All the strippers knew who we were. They knew what we were there for, all that fun stuff. So we would get all these random guys who would come out of the woodwork, like cousins of people that I've never met a day in my life. They'd be like, oh, man, can you get me in, blah, 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 this, that, and another. And I'm like, I don't know you.
I can get me in.
Yeah. Okay, like the crew is covered. And then I started thinking of these ideas. Okay, you can come hang out with us. I'll give you your cover taken care of. I'll get your drinks taken care of, whatever. But you got to do something in order to be initiated into our crew. And most of the time it was having a stripper kick you in the balls. So,
we were talking about that. I'm out of your club, dude, in a heartbeat.
Just one time? One and done?
Yeah, just that's it. Just one time. And I mean, that's the way it works. So Jason, it was the kind of thing we thought at Exxxotica. We were like, let's have him coronated like a knight. We're going to find someone to coronate Jason like a knight as our number one fan. and we ran into shout out Janine Jericho and
Love
Justice. Janine and Justice, and we told them, the idea that they wanted to do. So what they did is they had Jason get on all fours, and they started beating him with whips. And then, like, they were
Brent
riding
sent
him.
me the video, dude.
Yeah. They were riding him and all that, and I was just and I felt so bad when that happened because I didn't realize how ripped Jason's underwear was when that was happening. Like the whole portion of his like boxers right here were completely gone and blown out. And then at one point, Justice noticed it, and that's where she was whipping him. And she's like, "Look at this right here," or whatever. You see her kind of like glance at us, and we kind of glance back at her, like, "Oh dear Lord!" Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to our man Brent Morrell, who does great photography working on. He said, I'm going down there. And I kind of missed hitching with him and getting down there, but he's like, dude, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. And he sends me the pictures and video. And I was watching that video about an hour ago. Well, 2 hours ago. Got home from work, and the first thing I did was went through those pictures and videos. I'm like, that's Jason. And he's getting his ass ridden. He was riding him. They're riding him like a pony and beating his ass.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. It's fun stuff like that because, and then we met shout out Rob Lee, who's an acrobat. Like he was hanging out with Janine, and he's like, "Hey, can I lift you?" And I was like,
"That was awesome too."
Yeah, I was like, "Wait, what do you mean lift me?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I'm an acrobat, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Let's do it." And the one that he did with me, you probably saw the video, Jeff. It was like a handstand, and I mean, really, with wrestling, when you do a standing vertical suplex, you need to be able to hold yourself up. So, like me, even being away from the business as long as I have, I was able to do it relatively easy. And so, as soon as he did that, everything else we had planned, I was like, all right, scrapped. See you later. That whole wrestler mentality of what works. I'm like, you know what? There's so many.
Did I get it?
Here.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Like he was doing stuff like that.
Jesus Christ. Like two people at once, too. Look at that.
Yeah. And
what is that thing in the middle, dude?
That's
is that Latex Man?
Yeah. That's what was that? That was what was that story we did? You were with me, Jeff, when we did.
It was kind of like it was something like Latex Man. What was it? The dude in the whole body suit or something. That creep.
Damn.
But no, so he was with me, and I'm like, oh man, this dude's like a mutant. Like this guy's got to come with me because everybody else is doing interviews and all that stuff. I'm like, well, it's going to be different, and crowds are going to form around us watching him do these lifts with the girls. Yeah. So we went around to all the girls who were on the show, and various others, and we're like, hey, let's do this acrobat stuff. And sure enough, it worked. We were giving out cards. We were doing this. We were doing that. The girls were blown away. And it's like, okay, so this is what it is with being different. Okay, screw our idea of what we had before. Now we're moving along with this because not only does this help us, but this helps Rob as well. For him being an acrobat and, getting his stuff out, So it's all about that. Just, networking and trying to make things work.
It's kind of like, hey, my name is fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, initially we were going to do confessions. We were going to have like guys say their deepest, darkest confessions. And we did not do one. And we were going to do reverse interviews. We did not do one because we met Rob and I'm like, all right, this is now what we're doing. And shout out to Rob from Pod Nation. He's editing together that fully fermented episode, and he's about 10% through it. And he sent me a little bit of preview of what some of that looks like. That is going to be baller when that is finished. So look out for that coming up soon on Roku Fire TV. Presented by Pod Nation. So, yeah. So.
Were there any other highlights from the convention?
I mean, really, and you can ask Brent.
I got a couple of pictures.
I
just stream these while you talk.
We were literally running around like crazy. Like we were there for 7 hours, and we were running around like chickens with our heads cut off because like the venue was just so big. Like there were a lot of stars that we ran into. That, of course, shout out Sarah J. For anybody who knows who Sarah J. is. She's been on the show twice. She loves. She even said, during that, I love coming on you guys' show.
Wow.
But no, like there were a lot of girls and guys that we weren't able to bump into because it was just laid out so weird, and we're just running around trying to, get interviews in, get this content, get that content, So it was great. But I mean, it was actually one thing that did stand out. I'm going to talk about this on Sunday. Is I saw the weirdest accident I've ever experienced in my life. And I mean, I drive a truck for a living.
Honey, my busy Sunday.
And and I see a lot of strange accidents. So we're driving down and we're about 15 minutes from the venue. And traffic just comes almost to a standstill. I'm like, all right, there's an accident. So we go past the accident, and it was a flatbed truck that made Mercedes-Benz half of a Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, Jesus.
That wasn't the worst part. As we went by, there was a deer that was underneath both vehicles with its head. And so we're sitting there looking. So it's both vehicles like covering like this, and the deer's just kind of sticking out. And we're like, how?
Holy shit.
Like I could see if it was under one or if it was in front. Like I feel like it hit it so hard that it ran the one car completely over the deer, and then the flatbed also ran over it to where it was just kind of lodged.
Oh my
I was like, there's not anything that can go wrong today that will be as bad as that deer's day.
Oh my God. Did it die?
I hope that it was dead. If not, they had to jaws of life that thing out from there. So I don't know if that was a crazed hunter that was like killing deer in a new way or what, but yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So,
they're like rampant right now. Just driving this past weekend, they're everywhere. Like you really just have to do the speed limit. Because
hey, dynamite emoji at the perfect time right there.
well
done. Bear Rains, done.
I've hit a deer before coming back from a wrestling show. I was in West Virginia coming back. We were lost for like 2 hours. Couldn't find a highway. Up in mountains. I think it was Kaiser, West Virginia, somewhere up there. Where like it was like this town, like right off of a mountain, and we're just lost. And this car comes by and it's flashing its lights, and we're just so strung out from being lost and tired from wrestling, and we're like, "Why is this jerk flashing his lights?" He was letting us know there was deer on the road. We didn't realize this, so I'm jetting like 50 miles an hour down this road that's supposed to be like 30. And we see all these deer in the road, so I see them and I slow down, and then a fifth one comes running out, and I hit this deer, and I hit it so hard it spins like this, hits the tree and falls down.
Oh my God!
And we're sitting there trying to realize what happened, and at that point, all of the deers, the rest of them, their heads popped up, and they looked at the car. And I was like, I've seen Final Destination. This doesn't end well. And we got out of there. And then we were
especially in West Virginia.
All the deer cocking shotguns and pointing them your way.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like, we pull a little bit farther down the road and we get pulled over by a cop. And I'm like, look, this is what happened. There's blood. There's fur on the front of my car. It's a red car. You can still see the blood and fur all over from it.
God.
And the cop's like, all right, look, just follow me to the highway. Both of us, finally, we got to 70 and we got the F out of there. And so.
Dear.
Bambi did not have a good night that night.
No, absolutely not. So you watch, because me and Jewel have asked this question amongst ourselves and other people that come on. Number one, I was told by a guy named Ralph Sutton who runs SDR podcasts. He's awesome. Watch yourself, rewatch yourself, because if you don't watch yourself, what makes you think other people are going to watch? And I love that phrase. But for me, I watch us, I rewatch you. Do you watch yourself, and do you watch anybody else's podcast?
And SDR, is that a Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll podcast?
Sex, Drugs, Rock and Roll, he's really
Big
good.
Jay Okerson or whatever, I think, or whatever.
Yeah, Big Jay Okerson,
Yeah, okay. Honestly, like, I used to watch a lot of my old matches back when I would wrestle.
Yeah.
But like, because I would feel like the matches weren't as good. Like sometimes I get like that with the episodes, but honestly, with a lot of the episodes, if I could be honest with you, I think I maybe have not watched any of the episodes I've had all the way through.
That's true.
But most of that is because I'm so busy, like outside of the show as well, like with personal stuff, with work, with doing other stuff for the podcast itself, like doing little clips, doing, getting, reaching out to guests, doing this, doing that. Like Jeff, I post like crazy, like boom, boom,
boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, like just pumping stuff out. So, but I think watching his back is when I go through and put the little clips out, because I skim through the episodes and pull certain things and all that. So like, I still kind of see what works, but I also have a really good memory as well. So, even though I've been beaten halfway to death, and, I have a hustler brain.
You're like pro chair shot right now.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I don't absorb a lot of small things, but I absorb a lot of big things. So if something really good happens during an episode, I'll pinpoint that moment. I'm like, okay, I need to pull this and get this as like a clip to promote the episode or whatever.
We need to do that.
I know, we definitely need to. And they do it on StreamYard. They've got something where you can kind of pin a moment, and it'll save the moment for you. So, yeah, because we forget sometimes. Jules been trying to ramp up to TikTok. I'm lost on it, and she's like, "Dude, you remember
TikTok
what point we said this and that?" And I'm like, "Nope."
We got. I think it was. We had a decent TikTok following. We started posting a lot of stuff from Natasha Nice, Reagan Fox, Sarah J, Corey Chase, all the big heavy hitters.
All my favorites.
Got
all
up to almost 85,000 views on a lot of those episodes.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they banned our account. And it's
Really?
really kind of never been the same, because I heard once you get banned, they remember the hashtags that you use, and they remember if you recreate your name, it kind of, so now I'm like Ray _ the HH pod. So they remember the HH pod because the original one was at the HH pod, and I use some of the same hashtags. So it's never really picked up the momentum it did before. And also TikTok's a very unique beast. Like, you need to know how the algorithm works. And I don't have the time or patience of doing that. And I'm also not a dancer, and that's what gets over is dancing and stupid things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's crazy they banned it. I mean, just for that, it's not like they're videos, it's the interviews.
Yeah.
So,
that too, but our show does have a lot of language. So, and they're very, very, sensitive on there with language and all that stuff. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, everybody, and I mean, it's a fine line. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, you're talking to porn stars." I mean, they're people. I mean, I said before, we live in a society now where you have to be inclusive of everybody. But yet, when you do that, people make such a big deal over it, and it's like, wait, whoa, let's back this shit up for 1 second. Everybody's sitting here saying inclusive for everything. But then when you have a show and you're actually inclusive to everybody, that's the whole thing. Then there's an issue. And it's like, well, wait a minute. This doesn't make any kind of sense. Like, we live in a country where if I want to sit there and laugh and talk about funny stuff, we can. I don't know. It's so weird the way a lot of that kind of stuff works. But we haven't really had much of an issue. Like, nobody's really messed with us. We haven't really gotten a lot of people headhunting us or anything like that. And normally people give us stuff on Twitter or whatever. I just block them immediately. I'm like, I don't have time for this. It's not worth my time. Most of them are.
Seems to be more lenient with everything anyway, just language wise. I mean, unless you're getting serious monetization, then they're all over that.
Yeah. I mean, YouTube's not really. See, look, most people that point fingers have strippers in their closet, and that's what I watched a video.
Pin that moment.
I watched the video, and I comment, and Jeff, I meant to tell you this. I didn't have a chance. It really peed me off. There was a podcast host named Chrissy Mayer. I'm not sure if you ever heard Chrissy Mayer, but she's borderline kind of politic, but she's also been doing stuff with some of the adult film shows. And she had Brandy Love come on to her show, and this guy that's a sadist and all that stuff, he just sat there and just started calling her a whore, and he's like,
oh my God,
blah, blah. You get paid money to eat ass, blah blah blah. I don't do that. I'm not a homo, blah blah blah, this, that, and another. And I'm just sitting there and I'm watching this train wreck happen, and I'm like, stuff like this is what makes shows like mine hard to book guests like her.
Yes.
Because she's going on and having a bad time. And also it's sick. It's disgusting. And I remember, and I instantly blocked Christy Mayer, because you as a host should not allow something like that to happen on your show. If you get a guest that's kind of getting out of line, it is your responsibility to boom, see you later. I've had guests that were bad, and we found a way to get out of it and redirected and did the rest of the show ourselves. And all that, it's just disgusting to come on and just berate a guest, regardless of what they're doing or what you believe in, even if you're a political show or anything like that. That's why my show, I like the way that it works, because we're there having fun. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about worldwide issues. We're worried about just having a good time. And that's it. So, but
that's formula.
Right. That's our formula. Agreed. And we came from the beginning. When Joel and I talk about this show, and we both say, look, no politics, man, no religion. And we do we'll do some sad topics, but we don't do anything we're not hard hitting. I'm not going to ask you about like a childhood trauma from when you were 3 years old, Ray. Like I don't need to, I don't need to know who you voted for. I don't need to know who you're banging. I don't need to know who you're buying your groceries from. I don't need that, man. I need to know about your show, your fun, your life, your past, and that's why I think we get along so well. But what I find funny is, you do the porn angle. You've had, and some of them are just really just funny. Everybody's like, oh, porn star. Some of them are funny. Some are real outgoing. I like the ones that are like, they're talking about, I'm getting plowed from behind in my ass. Ooh, can I say ass? Like, you just said plowed from behind, and you're worried about saying ass?
Not to mention, beforehand, I've said the F-bomb like 14 times before then. And I'm just kind of like, have you not heard me say that? Like, I mean, but no, I mean, that's the thing. We're complete mature audiences. We're not appealing to kids or anything like that. It's fun. And I mean, it's very Howard Stern / The Man Show driven. We live kind of in this like world now where that's like frowned upon now, but those shows when they were around were huge hits. And that's the thing. There's a lot of shows like ours. Like I'll shout out Porn Stash Podcast. They were asking me for advice on their YouTube just last week. And they're like, you guys are on a very, you guys are in that niche and you're making it work. You're making it happen. You're getting bigger and you're getting bigger and you're getting bigger. And I'm like, I appreciate that. I'm just coming out, doing my thing. And Jeff, you probably seen, as I said, I'm a very monotone version of myself, but I know when I go onto my show, it's almost like, getting ready to walk out of that curtain, I hear my music hit and the switch flips like, okay, it's time to go out and be this character for a little bit. I mean, granted, I'm being me to my fullest extent, but it's an amped up, okay, it's showtime. Let's walk out there and perform and make these people not forget what we just did here. And that's the way any show should be, any, sporting event or anything like that has a live crowd of people watch, is that you need to go out there and make sure that there's something that they are going to take home with them and remember when that show's over.
That's perfect. It's funny because my wife always says, and I mean, jokingly, sometimes she's like, man, I wish I can get that Tuesday from 8 to 10, Jeff, around the house. Because, like, the guy here is laughing and kidding and complimenting and just doing it all. Yeah. And then she's like, be that guy. I'm like, well, I am. She's like, well, no, you're a different version of that guy. So I get it. Joel, what about you? Like, how much of this is you? I've seen you out. I know. For the people out there watching.
Oh, you don't think this is me?
Well, I think it is, but I mean, like a lot of people, people ask me, when Jewel goes out, what does she do? I'm like, what do you mean? What does she do? She goes out and listens to music, and we have some drinks.
I'm so crazy.
Right.
But no, this is our like the highlight of our week, and this is like when we have fun and let loose and just catch up and get to interview these great people. So it's really like it makes our week. It definitely got us through COVID and lockdown. Like Jesus Christ, it like saved our lives then. But it was actually a topic for tonight, but I saw that Kobe Bryant's walkout song was the Halloween theme song.
Nice.
Yeah, so I wanted to know what your walkout song was maybe then and what it is now, or is it the same?
Ooh,
okay. Goody. Well, I remember all of them. So when I first started wrestling, I did a gimmick called the Legion of Ungood, and we were evil villains, and we were bad. We were terrible at being evil villains. We had homemade ring gear. We made a vehicle out of a shopping cart called the Danger Cart. And when we first debuted it, our second match, one of the guys, Mr. E Machine, that was his name, Mr. E Machine. It was Mr. E Machine, Dr. X, and I was Gold Thumb. And when he came out, he had these big airplane directors with like the airplane, like the orange airplane vest on, and he's directing something on it. All the people, like the 250 people in Bully's Quarters Fire Hall in Bully's Quarters, Maryland, were like, what the hell's happening right now? And so we had this big wooden stage, like it was kind of thin, but this big wooden stage. And the next thing you know, you see me come out with this cart that we like decorated up like this evil vehicle, thing. And so Dr. X gets in it. And throughout the excitement of this, the crowd goes nuts because they're like, okay, because we were a comedy gimmick. And so while we were doing it, unbeknownst to me and Dr. X, like we're going through so much excitement. I'm doing like the whole thumbs in the air because I'm Gold Thumb. My thumb's gold. 2 out of the 4 wheels are off the side of the stage.
Jesus Christ.
So when Dr. X gets in the cart and I go to push it, the entire cart just falls and head dives off the stage, and you hear him go, ah! And at that point, you hear everybody in the crowd and everybody in the back start laughing. And we came out to the Imperial Death March from Star Wars. So that was our theme.
Yeah.
And we went in the back and they were like, we could not pay you guys to duplicate that any better. But since you guys did it tonight, that's now a part of your gimmick. And we had to figure out, shout out to Wes Mercer, Dr. X. He hated me for so long because of that error, because we had to figure out for those 2 years we did that gimmick, how we were going to make him crash and burn in that cart. Every entrance we did. And so it was that. And then later on, we did a hard rock version of the Imperial Death March. And then the Legion broke up. I took the mask off. Short period of time, I did what was it? It was something by Mudvayne. Happy by Mudvayne.
Happy. I was probably happy. All right.
And then it went to the Bleeding from Five Finger Death Punch, which was just like a non-lyrical version or whatever. And then it went to Hard to See from Five Finger Death Punch. And then end of my career, I started doing Mr. Happy Hour. 2011, I turned into a good guy again. I started doing Mr. Happy Hour, and I came out to Shots by LMFAO.
Oh, all right.
And I had like the Valvozola horn. I came out the Shots and all that stuff. I sold so many of those horns. I would go to Five Below, buy like 2 for $5 and sell them for like $10 a piece, signed to shows. And people hated it because the whole time all they heard from like hundreds of people throughout the whole show. And so did that. And then I was in a tag team called the War Pigs, which we came out to
War Pigs.
There for a while. It was a mix of the beginning of Shots, and then it cut into the War Pigs.
Oh, that's a goodie.
From Ozzy. So, fun, all that kind. It's crazy the stuff you retain from, the wrestling industry that like you remember. Oh, yeah, I can tell you every song. I can't tell you every match. I've wrestled over 500 matches, so I can't remember all that. But
that's pretty awesome, man. And I admire your way of creativity and thinking on the spot. And you said it really helped you improv, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to improv right now, if you will help us, with Jewel Tatey, because Jewel's been dying to play Incoherent.
Okay.
But here's the deal. We're going to leave it as your baby, explain how it works, and try to hold the card up, and we'll see how Jewel can do. Because Jewel watched the Rumble, and she was proud of me, but she said, I probably could have won that thing.
I was getting them. I was. And then the Halloween episode I just watched, you did it with her, but she didn't really understand the concept. So
I know
the game. I do know the game. I kind of suck, but I'll try.
That's fine. And before we get into it, so anybody watching who may have seen me for the first time, hearing about my show for the first time, we do a segment on our show called Ode to Humanity. So what I do is I have a series of games, which is extreme personal questions, Never Have I Ever, which are 3 random cards drawn out of the deck.
I always do shitty.
Super Fight. And of course, we have Incoherent, which is a staple in this show. Every year we do the HH Pod Rumble. Winner gets sent out, not this belt, but a real legit championship belt. Like you can see the way that's a real functioning championship belt. Customized with the logos and all that stuff on it. And then we end it with Cards Against Humanity roulette, because we can't have cards in front of you, so we do it roulette style and you choose the card. So pretty much, Jewel, for everybody watching at home, I'm going to show you a series of cards. Now, normally I run my show through Zoom, so I'll just do share screen to pull them up on the screen. So I'm going to do it old school version, the way I used to do it on my show before I realized that I could do that on Zoom, and just hold them up to the screen and see. So pretty much what Jewel's going to do is she's going to try to sound these out. They're all going to be in drunken lingo. She needs to try to sound them out, figure out what they say. So you watched this Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
The one after Halloween.
Friday are being pulled out of that deck.
Okay.
They were sitting right here. So I'm going to throw those over there.
Well, I'm proud of you, Joe. I am proud of you, though. That was a nice strategy, but.
And those were hard ones, too. So, all right. So here's.
My niece is a champ at this game.
Here's the first one. What do you think, Jad?
Fuck. What's the category? What is that, a yellow?
Yes, that is the yellow.
So what's that category?
Yellow is kind of like pop culture.
Oh.
Red is adult, and blue, I think, is mainly like people and places. So one of the hints is meme account.
Meme account?
Yes.
Yeah. And this is sounds like
these hints don't help you. Like that. That's the way they design Incoherent. The kingpin of memes.
Kingpin of memes.
They have a TikTok page now too.
This isn't dirty, is it? Can I ask a phone a friend?
Yeah, if you want.
Joey, what is this?
Well, I
What
mean,
is that?
one of the words might be an inappropriate word.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, never mind. Don't look.
Yeah.
Maybe not ask my 9-year-old.
I mean, it
for
looks
help.
like
Yeah.
fuck Harry. Fuck Harry.
You got the first part, Jeff.
That's what I kept saying. I'm like, I'm not right. Ugh. Don't know. I'm stumped, man. I don't know.
All right, it is. Fuck Jerry. If you've
Oh
ever,
my god, yeah.
I kept saying.
yeah. So one of the things I tell people,
I hear that from kids all the time.
I know. I never know what it.
Yeah,
We're old.
I tell people a good method with this game is say it fast, but also kind of say it with a Southern accent because you kind of hear yourself say it a little bit. And if you're not drunk, the Southern accent kind of like makes up for not being drunk. So
That's a good tactic.
here's the next one. What do you think that one is?
I actually know that one. That one's pretty easy. Oh, Jewel. That one's easy.
This one you may get on Thanksgiving.
Oh, food coma.
Yeah. All right.
It is food coma. And
You gave it away, though. I feel like a failure.
the other one was a battle-tested excuse to get away from the dinner table and onto the couch. All right,
yes.
so
Yes. Good
what do you
Thanksgiving.
think that one is?
Oh, that's a toughie.
Stew.
Oh, I know that one. Wow.
How do you know this?
Oh,
You
I
suck
know
at
it.
this game, Jeff.
I know it.
Hurdle problems. First two hurdle problems.
One of the
Wait,
hints is
first
not
hurdle
real
problem.
Yes.
Yeah. And not real issues, and the other was Chipotle finally started serving queso, but it sucks. So first world problem.
First world problem. Nicely done, Joel.
Shit.
All right, so these are red, unfortunately. So
All right.
here's
Child's out of the
that
room.
one.
Let's go.
What do you think that one is?
Yeah, she knows it too. Go ahead.
Oh, squeeze my nipples.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. That's it.
All right, so that's incoherent.
fun.
So Joel, so you saw the Rumble. So the Rumble, what we do every year is we bring back, and Joel, if you want to take a part of it, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
You know, so Jeff, of course, I know you'll be there. So what we do is we bring back
You'll take Cassie's place.
30 former guests / friends of the show. And it's themed like WWE's Royal Rumble. And we play this game. And I've adjusted a little bit because last year we did 1 minute, then we did 45 seconds and 30 seconds and 15. It went too goddamn long. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do 30 seconds with one save. So
Ooh.
yeah, 30 seconds with one save. And then the next round is 15 seconds until everybody's eliminated. So imagine.
Yeah, you gave people like a lot of leeway. I was like, I was watching, getting amped up. So
yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like it's the second one we ever did. So over time, it's going to get better and get better and get better and get better. But this time, it's literally going to be. And I noticed the problem last time when people kept on talking. So this time, it's going to be everybody's muted. I'm going to mute everybody except for the person who's going. And then 30 seconds, boom, 15 seconds, boom, and then we get whoever the winner is. And then if we have time afterwards, we'll just bullshit or, play, whatever afterwards. But yeah, so, and actually, let me see.
Games. The Rumbles are so fun.
Hey, Jeff, if you look on my Facebook, you might be able to find an image of the belt.
Jeff is banned right now. He's in Facebook jail.
No, I got it on my other page too. Trust me, during that Rumble, and if my wife hears this, she might kick my ass, but I kind of wanted to find a way to feed the answers to Caitlin Bell so she didn't go away. Jeff I love me some Caitlin Bell. It's it's a well-known fact now, the Happy Hour podcast. I'm on it. I'm going to scroll down, see if it comes
here.
up.
Actually, I might be able to, because I can't share screen with you guys. So let me see, because that way everybody, because I know somebody mentioned something about the belt or whatever. So let me see if I can find the belt, and I'll hold it up on my phone of what this year's belt looked like for the Rumble. So let's see. So let me just scroll through here.
Maybe Zoom does have better technology. Son of a bitch.
Well, with Zoom, you'd be able to give me the ability to be able to share also.
Oh, I got
Well, I
you.
could just share whatever was on my screen as well. So let me just scroll through some of this because if anybody knows, oh, here it is right here. So here's a photo of it right here. So I'll hold this up to the screen. So that's what the belt looked like.
He gave that away. Jupiter
That's
Jetson has that
impressive.
damn thing.
So
Right?
yeah,
I want it. I really want it.
I know, right? I wanted it so bad. That's what I wanted more than anything is that.
yeah, it kind of has a glare to it. I mean, I know a guy. He's over in Pakistan, and like, so it's not really as much. Like, this is the full. Like, this belt weighs probably about 8 pounds. So, it's a heavy belt.
Damn.
That's the whole thing. And he makes the belts over there. I've gotten the last 2 plus this one. I'm gonna get some of my other championships to display up there done up. But no, shout out to Mohammed Zybar. He does all the belts, all that stuff. So if you happen to see it. So
gained another
I
fan.
thank you, Bear.
Bear loves this kind of stuff. I mean, he loves people just going out and entertaining.
And we talk about bears all the time on that show. He'll feel right in place. Mainly it's about bears like tearing people's faces off, or Cocaine Bear, or
I thought you meant another bear.
Yeah, like
wasn't there the bear that poured like a bottle of took a what's the seltzer?
White Claw.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
still
can't
thinking
remember.
of a different bear, guys. I don't think you're getting me.
It was a White Claw bear, I think. He was drinking White Claw in somebody's
White Claw.
kitchen or something.
Yeah.
It was.
I know. I gave you that story.
Yeah, I mean,
You did. Yes, you did. Thank you.
That's the thing too. And like I noticed some of you guys like the 5 do's and don'ts of shows or whatever. And one thing that I am guilty of is talking about myself, but I've also kind of myself lived kind of like an interesting life. And a lot of the comedians and all that stuff, like when you bring up certain things, they kind of feed off of some of that, and then you end up with unique, interesting stories. But
there's a difference.
Yeah. And Jeff, you know this. If you see any of our stuff promoted online, you never see anything of me really on it at all, unless it's like photos from an event or a featured beer or a featured shot. Our guest graphics are just that. It shows because
they're
it's
the bomb, dude.
Yeah, it's about the guests. That's what it is. And we have guests just like you guys. Like every week we have a guest, and to be able to maintain that, and any show that has guests and all that, there's a lot of work keeping guests and scheduling, and people pull out and then you have to find a different guest and that guest and blah, 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 and it's just like, it gets to be a lot.
I took a picture. I was trying to see if I could flip it. Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just thinking about this dude I was watching the one day, because sometimes when we have guests on, I watch previous interviews, you're doing your research and everything. This one guy just went off. Like, he didn't even introduce the guest. He just went off talking about himself for 45 minutes. I'm like, I'm just trying to get to the point here and hear them, because, you're looking to learn more about them. So yeah, there's definitely a difference between relating and, having something interesting to say, other than like, I went to the store the other day and it's just terrible.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, everybody gets that with our show, that since we have adult film stars on, that we're strictly going to talk about sex.
That's the graphic.
Yeah, those are the graphics that we have.
Look at that. That's pretty damn good work.
Yeah, very professional looking graphics. But no, like, everybody thinks that the show is going to be strictly talking about sex. And we'll get people in the live stream and they'll be like, well, why didn't you ask him about this sex act? Meanwhile, we're talking about a man who spent $40,000 to turn himself into a collie. And it's like, well,
we had that story too.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, this is the kind of stuff I want to talk about, because you can watch any other show with these, they hear what they do sexually. Like, yeah, we may get into like weird OnlyFans requests or, injuries or whatever and all that. But no, like, I have a set, like, I find weird news articles, all that stuff, and go, hey, and then we just, roll along with the punches and see what happens. And that, that's the magic in it. So
I'm scared to ask you, like, what's the worst injury you've heard?
The worst injury,
sexually or wrestling? Because
we have to be in his both.
Because we ask about sex injuries, and there's some weird ones.
I have one for both. So on the show,
one for both. It's combined.
Yeah, on the show, the worst 2 injuries on the podcast I've heard of, outside of wrestling, on the podcast I heard of, is mainly when, and I apologize, because this is going to be language, but mainly dick breaking. That
Oh my
that
God.
is yeah, when they
Oh,
and then there was a story of Reese Rideout. He was on the HH Pod Rumble.
yes.
He was telling a story of how he took these pills, like kind of like Viagra or whatever, and he took them and he could not get his erection to go away. And he went to the
Sounds
doctor
like
and he had,
heaven,
like,
but
all these needles in it or whatever.
oh,
And he was basically like almost like a human pin cushion or whatever and all that. And I was just kind of like, this is by far the most horrific story I've ever heard of in my life.
oh my
And
That's from a
God.
movie. What movie is that from? Where they take something and then they need a big needle? What movie is
oh
that?
yeah, what
Probably
is
It's
that?
got something
hangover.
about
I
Mary,
know what you're
right?
talking about.
Or maybe something.
That'll
Oh
come to
my
me.
God, dude. Ugh.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, as a guy, you think, yeah, erection that doesn't go down. I heard after a while, you're in an immense amount of
Yeah,
pain.
he said he was in
Oh,
immense pain, and yeah.
oh,
So wrestling wise, the worst injury I've ever heard of. And in case he watches this, shout out to Blood, the Baltimore Butcher. He's my boy. He was my road buddy, my best friend. He was in my wedding. Tag champions. My worst rival ever in pro wrestling. My career ended, and I never beat him one time in my career. And we kept it that way by design. But he did a show for Combat Zone Wrestling, and they do a lot of death match stuff.
yeah.
And pretty much
Shit's
what happened
wild.
is he got backdropped over the top rope into a shopping cart filled with light tubes. And when he went in, he like moved like the wrong way, and he went in feet first instead of ass first.
Oh,
And one of the light tubes cut his Achilles tendon.
Oh, no,
And
no,
it
no.
oh,
was like that wide, and he was bleeding profusely. And
oh.
they had to airlift him out of there. And when he was doing it, like I love him to death, but he's such like he's such a moron. I love him. He was sitting there making his legs sing "New York, New York." While and the lady was like, "Stop! You're gonna die!" And he was like, "Okay, okay." And then like that you kind of patched him up, and then he got airlifted out of there. He was out, I think, like 8 months, something like that, and then he came back, still did the deathmatch stuff after that and all
Holy
that stuff.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm writing the time down so when I watch the replay, I know the exact moment to look at Jules' face because I thought you're gonna lose your like week's worth of dinner right there. You're like,
That's disgusting. As someone who's torn their Achilles, that sounds horrific.
oh,
That's terrible. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But changing gears, what's your favorite guest of all time, or maybe top?
Man, see, like, and it's funny because like I do other podcasts here and there, and I get that question a lot. And honestly, I don't think I have a favorite guest. Like, it's the kind of thing I look at it as like with my wrestling career. Like everybody's like, "What's your favorite match?" I'm like, I can't really like. I can sit there and say people that I worked with, like guys that I had good matches with, or were easy to work with, but I can't sit there and say a direct guest because there's so many episodes that were good and so many guests that were good that I like to try to stay proud of everything that I do
yeah.
with whatever guests that we have. So
Way to give the right answer.
what's
I
that?
know, right
What's a
now.
guest that you were like so surprised that you landed? How about
That's
that one?
better because we don't do best guess here. Jules like, how can you pick one
I
out
know,
of
we don't do
300? I'm
either.
like, you're right.
Okay, well, best guess that we landed. I did like the fact that we were able to talk to Wes from Puddle of Mud. That was
awesome.
early on. That was early on. He was like episode, I think 11 or 12, 13,
Wow.
something like that. So that was very early on. In the porn world, it was really big getting Corey Chase, Reagan Fox, who's been on the show twice,
She's
and
awesome.
Natasha Nice, who's been on the show twice. And they're very, very huge in the porn world. Sarah J also, they all have well over 1 million, 2 million followers on all their social media pages and all that. So being able to have guests like that, we get guests all the time. They're like, how did you get those guests? And, for anybody watching the show, you need to know how to sell yourself. Like you need to know how to make yourself sound like you're the real deal. Like, that's the whole thing. You need to be able to convey not only to the people watching you, to the people that you're working with, but also the people that you're messaging that, hey, this is legit, and yeah, but yeah, so I would say those. I think favorite guests, if I could say favorite, I think recently some of the favorite guests we had, obviously Kate and Bell, she's always super fun. Onyx Muse was fun.
Yes.
Any of the episodes we have that has Eric Woodworth or Tommy Sambazo, who are local comedians who are just hilarious. Like literally, like you think the madness on our show is crazy when it's just me, Matt, whoever. When they're on, they level that up,
I
and it's
love
like,
having comedians on. It's the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, there was an episode we had where somehow 9/11 got brought up,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
I knew Eric Woodworth was like, what? Oh, we had a porn star on. It was Johnny Goodluck, who, by the way, shout out Johnny Goodluck, the first inaugural HH Pod Rumble champion. He was on, and we were somehow talking about 9/11, and Eric was like, "What about a 9/11 porn parody?" He's like, if they would have did a gay porn parody, and they were on that plane, they could have taken it. They could have stopped it from happening because the terrorists would have just slit their own throats. Like, no, we can't watch this. We can't watch this. And yeah, so. Yeah, that's
not bad.
Eric
It's creative.
yeah.
Man.
Wow.
I always think I'm creative, and I'm
Well.
not. Yeah, I promised Joel to be a little wow moment. There's definitely wow moments with Ray. And, dude, real quick before I let you go, I'm going to, a couple things. Number one, of course, I want to thank you. Tomorrow night on the Yo Show Wednesday, Vividly Vixen, who we love.
Yes.
And
Yep.
met her on your show. We thank you for that. That's incredible. Look forward to that. I'm going to throw a name at you. Tell me your possibility, our possibility, anybody's possibility. Joel, no offense. Lisa Ann. What is the chances of Lisa Ann?
Okay.
Is she that untouchable?
So I'm going to tell you this now with Lisa Ann. I have interviewed Lisa Ann. It was for Happy Hour TV.
When?
She is on my blacklist.
Oh,
why?
My
Oh,
no list.
shit.
Because she was such a word that began with a C and ends with a T that I said I would never work with her ever again.
Oh,
wow.
Is that the one that does Sarah Palin, or am I thinking of a different one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the Eminem video? Okay.
She was at Exxxotica, and I didn't even go over near her table, nothing like that. I wanted nothing to do with her because it's just how she presented herself, messaging out, and then not only when we had talked to her, but it was the kind of thing where the show was it was about a week away interviewing her at Fantasies nightclub in Baltimore, and I reached out and I was like, "Hey, are we still good?" And I didn't hear anything back, and then I messaged again, I'm like, "Hey, we need to know whether or not to come out, blah, blah, blah." And I guess she took it as we were being a little too pushy. And she kind of referenced that in the interview. Ooh. And she was kind of bitchy the whole entire time. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I've talked to other people with other shows or, within that industry that were just kind of yeah, that's how it is. And not saying I would never talk to her again, but you notice with some of those heavy hitters we had, there's a reason why that heavy hitter hasn't been on our show, and that's because she's on our no list. So.
Well, imagine probably for now, the Yo Show, we like to premiere and debut things. Probably the first time in the history of Earth where a straight man says Lisa Ann is on my blacklist. Wow. That's impressive, though, from a podcast standpoint. I'm proud, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. If you guys want to reach out and get her on the show, feel free. But it's just me warning you now that she is a handful to deal with. She was extremely rude.
She's definitely a handful.
Yeah,
and that has to be so awkward. Why even show up if you're going to act like that? Why waste your time just to make someone else feel bad and make it awkward? We just don't have time for that. We've been blown off a couple times by the same person. Well, a couple different people consecutively, and we're just
you can say Lita Ford. Go ahead.
Lita Ford, and we're not dealing with it anymore. We're not dealing with it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but she would rope us in we're locked in 3 times. Not because I love Lita Ford, I did.
Night before, we're having all these drinks, getting ready, rocking out,
3 times.
And,
I mean, that's the thing. I have no problem name dropping people. There was an adult film star, Brianna Diamond, who came onto our show. And she was so upset because I did a story on the first monkey that was in space, the first chimpanzee that was in space. And she was an animal lover, but I was like, could you imagine that? The thing that spins around real quick? I was like, could you imagine a monkey in that thing and that thing spinning around 100,000 miles an hour? You open up the spaceship, that thing comes down and just rips your face off with all of its hands. And that offended her somehow.
That's just how he does it too, Joel, by the way.
The animals that they were doing that to that poor animal, and then we did a story where in India the bride died, so they married the sister instead, and and one of the comedians is making a joke, and he's like, "You're a real woman now. You're a real woman now," because of the age difference in it. But we were being culturally appropriate, and even her PR rep said that because that's what happens in India. That's the way things are there. And she just literally pieced out of the show, and I was just kind of like,
Wow.
you gave us like 35 minutes. We had 10 minutes left, so we were going to keep you here. You could have just said, "Hey, this isn't for me," or "Hey, I have to go," or countless other things, but just leave the show. That's disrespect. Like, we've had our share of bad guests. Like, Randy Edelman was a terrible guest. Def Noodles, he was a YouTuber. He was an awful guest.
You said they're bad. You said them YouTubers are bad.
Yeah, I don't mess with influencers. I don't mess with YouTubers. They'll have egos. Most of the time you don't even get a message back from them, and it's just like, all right, whatever. TikTok goes under, you're nothing. So I don't,
We did good with Jamie Kennedy's girlfriend. Of course, Jamie Kennedy, comedian, his girlfriend, Alyssa Mize, been an influencer, 25,000 followers, whatever,
She's
for
a
fashion.
sweetheart, though.
And
I
she was
wouldn't
a
call
doll.
her, like,
But so when you said that, I'm like, ooh, from now on, I'm nervous. She was amazing.
Yeah.
But she was also like, he was bringing her onto her podcast, and she got into the podcast thing a little bit.
Yeah.
But wow, man,
more
you
of
told me.
podcast respect or whatever.
Yeah,
you
and
have
she
to
was
have some kind of backing. We've had on so many musical artists, and they're like, all these people coming out just on like TikTok fame, like they have no. That's it. If it all crashes, then it's just done. Like their entire life is over. So but have to have some talent, I guess, or something.
That's the world that we live in, with the good old podcast world.
Exactly. Give us a rundown real quick of one or two people coming up on your show, and run the scroll all night. Hopefully everybody follows, because it's, like you said, it's unpredictable, fun, and you just never know what you're going to get. And Jewel, you've watched it. I've been on it. My wife watched it. You don't know. So who we got coming up?
So we are going to be live on Sunday. Much like you guys go live, we go live as well. I like nothing else but live, unless like we're recording something like Exxxotica or something like that. We're going to be live Sunday, 6:00 p.m. Eastern. JR and Jasmine Cruz, they're OnlyFans couple. They're going to be on the show. A lot of different stuff's coming up in November. Of course, October, we had our Smash or Dash, the Halloween edition. We have horrible turkey fryer injuries.
Can't wait.
For the month of November. So we're showing videos, which the video was kind of hard to find. I was able to find some photos, but I like a little bit of that shock factor. But and part of it is with some guests that we would get is that they wouldn't research our show. And I always advise the guests, watch our content before you agree to do our show. I don't want you to come on and then be mortified and be a deer in headlights, and it's just kind of like, you didn't watch.
I saw the one video you just showed about the air fryer, and she's like, "We gotta get you to the emergency room."
Yeah. And it was funny because the guy, it looked like when the smoke went up, it looked like he ninja'd himself, and he like disappeared. I was like, where'd he go? Like,
what are you doing? Why are you so close?
Yeah, he seriously looked like he vanished. And Ray's like, it's like some magic shit that you look like he vanished.
Like,
he died. That was his ghost.
Yeah, so of course we have that coming up. We have Whitney OC on November 18th. That's going to be live. And then we have I'm trying to remember who our final guest of the month is. I'm drawing a blank, but just make sure you go over. You see it all scrolling underneath there, all of our social media pages. Every episode that we have, go to hhpod.com, go to our guests/episodes. You will see every episode. Of course, December 22nd will be our 200th episode. So,
all right, congratulations!
Every episode we've ever done, including our fully fermented, bonus content, bonus episodes, all that with those beautiful graphics. Shout out to Curtin Jerker Design and Derek Sharp, who does all of our graphics.
Thanks, Curtin Jerker. I
love it. You'll see all of that on there, and any select episode. Whether you want to see an adult film star, someone from rock. We have A Light Divided, Roses on Red. Of course, Wes Scantlin, and of course Roku and Fire TV on Pod Nation TV. Of course, the episode's currently airing there. It's the episode with myself and Jeff, and the guest was Chloe Amore. So Chloe Amore, that episode is currently up there. We have our episode with Doug Bradley, aka Pinhead, our vintage episode. That is up on Roku and Fire TV right now. Tawny McClure, that's up there. And what was the third one that we put on there? It's all up there. There's various stuff. There's so much of an archive of our stuff up there. So go, check it out. Hang out, have a good time. let loose a little bit, let your hair down, and kind of,
Yeah,
get
like and
X-rated a
subscribe.
little bit.
Oh, a lot of it. Like and subscribe, indeed. And I want to thank you so much. It's something I thought about immediately about doing this, and kind of on the last minute's notice, we had our band bail out. I'm like, man, I'd love to have Ray on because we love what you do, man. We're fans of yours. Hopefully, you're fans of ours. We share each other when we can, and we appreciate that a great deal. You mentioned Light Divided. JC Clark will be on here in December. We love her to death. You can find the Happy Hour podcast hosted by the amazing Mr. Ray Chace. The YouTube link down the bottom, youtube.com/@thehhpod. Instagram @hhpod. The website, www.thehhpod.com. Facebook is Happy Hour Pod. It's available on Roku and Amazon Fire TV via our good friends at Pod Nation TV. Shout out to Rob and Real Sharks, Ray Chace. Thank you so much for coming into the house tonight, man. We greatly appreciate it. Love it. Can't wait to get an invite back. And we'll try to bring Jewel next time and do it on the other side of the flip and let you take control.
Yeah. And if Jewel thought some of this was bad, and I part of me would feel awful, but like in a live environment, I'm just kind of like, I feel awful, but we need to keep rolling along.
Oh, no, yeah. I would fully prepare for that. I'll tell my family not to watch that episode.
Like, whatever you do not watch my appearance on the show.
Exactly.
It's gonna be something.
It took him a while to watch her on this show, and I'm half of you. Real quick.
Big fan, though. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick before you go, when we talk about shows and the show goes on, your family watching. My mother, God rest her soul, when I first do a podcast, was just audio, no video. And after 2 episodes, I'm like, Mom, are you still listening? She goes, no. What you say is so offensive, I can't listen to you anymore. I'm like, yeah, it's offended my mom. There we go. That's when you know you got it. Ray, thanks again, man. I love it. Like I said, I know you do this multiple times a week. Took another time out to do it with us, and
anytime, man, anytime. And Jeff, if you're free Sunday, let me know. You're more than welcome, man. So
I'm gonna make myself free. Eagles are on a bye week. Eagles are on a bye week.
Bye week.
So. Bye week.
Because we're number one. We're number one.
Just had to get that in. Ray, thanks, man. I'm gonna cut you out down here, and I really appreciate it. We'll talk tomorrow, whenever. Let me know. Hit me up, and let's keep collabing, brother. It works.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye. Have a good night.
Ray Chace, everybody from the Happy Hour podcast. And Joe, I got to tell you one thing about Ray that I love. Like you said, it's a straight-on attack. He's doing it his way, and it works. Like, he gets these adult film stars, some of the popular ones, and they probably think, like, I'm going to come on and own this show. No, Ray is the, what do you call that? The guy, he rings the lion tamer.
Ringmaster?
The ringmaster, thank you. He's the ringmaster of that.
It was the lion tamer.
Yes.
Ringmaster.
He's the ringmaster of that circus, and I say circus in the most beautiful way because it's a lot of fun. It really is. Check out Happy Hour with Ray.
I watch all the time. Like, I am a fan, and I love watching people who just do it right, and it's fun, and it's funny, and it's just, like you said, unexpected. And I love the games too. I'm a big game fan, so I'm happy you broke out the cards tonight because it's our thing. We should do trivia soon. Fun.
We should, just like cards like that or something. And like Ray said, if you see someone on my show you like, go ahead, and vice versa. And like I said, with the guest tomorrow night, your show Wednesday, for you who watch us on Wednesday, Angela Marie will be back in the hot seat.
Oh,
finally. Shit. Yeah, no. So you only needed somebody who's gonna kind of has the straight up mouth of a sailor to handle it.
Oh yeah.
Our guest tomorrow night. She does, and she's good about it. Our guest tomorrow night.
I didn't mean she's got the
right.
Cojones for tomorrow.
She does. Thank you very much. Our guest is a adult film star, a known nudist, swinger, but I did a Happy Hour pod with her, and she's also very amazing, very fun. It's going to be a Vividly Vixen tomorrow night, Yo Show Wednesday. Drew, when I tell you, she's super cool. She has been sharing it, making posts about it, constant contact. Right, we like that a lot.
Appreciate it.
It really is. Vividly Vixen tomorrow night on the program, Yo Show Wednesday. Great night tonight with Ray. Big shout out to Ray.
I feel it's like Family Guy meets South Park tonight. It's like combined forces. It's nice.
I like that. And there was definitely some combined forces. A couple of things I lined up. I told you I lined up some music. And 6 songs. We're going to play maybe one or two of them before we go, and then one exit song that means a lot to me and Jewel. You know what it is. But anyway, I want to play this video because, especially after this past weekend, Jewel, again, Strange Culture at the PC Pub. Just a great time with music and a band that we found early on, and Jewel's like, yeah, these guys are incredible. And this was Jewel's drive from the get-go. Find these incredible local bands that are awesome, play their music, bring them on, interview them like stars, and they appreciate it. This was one of the very first, and when I got this song, I said to myself, this girl freaking knows her music, and she's incredible at it. We're going to play the video real quick here on the O Show. It's Molly Rhythm, and that's how she even knows this song. When Jewel presented this song, it was a little mix of like No Doubt meets like ska and all this, and I'm like, man, this is great.
System of a Down.
Yeah, I'm like, this is great. And right then I knew I had just an absolute gem to share with everybody. Jewel, you're amazing. This is Molly Rhythm, the band. The song is right meow. Right meow. Check it out. It's about 4.5 long, but worth it. Jewel, this one I dedicate to you.
Kitchen cleaning dishes altruistically. Drop me off a bicycle, I give it to a kid for free. Sneaking through your yard and leaving gardens. I don't drive a car, pardon me for starters, but we'll party and lick Mars hard, reading the ingredients. They be saying, look how green she is. I'm vegan and I'm showing up in Jesus fish. I know there ain't an afterlife. Flipping off the pastor's wife, that Bible spreading lies. We should burn it in a sacrifice. Here is your permission to go trotting off the deep end. Just as long as you admit it, you will outweigh the submissive. Yes, sometimes I miss it, but I'm just so glad to be here right now. Right now. Wolf whistling when
one of the first that Jewel brought to us, and we had got like 20 people on representing that band, Motley Rhythm, Right Meow, Jewel. I know you and I have tried to reach out to them, and I know sometimes they like when I share their stuff, but not a lot of response. We would love to get bands like that back together. If we're out there and like you see a song that you know the band member, or you're the band member, or something, you catch us with the hundreds, thousands of people that view, come back, please.
I love them so much. Like they're just on my constant playlist, and yeah, I love that whole album especially. It's just so great. And their like underground stuff, like this stuff they put out on YouTube, just like messing around. I love Campfire Song. If you're a fan of Molly Rhythm, I highly suggest Campfire Song. It's one of my faves.
Absolutely amazing. And I'm gonna admit, baby, I'm gonna admit, when you first had the idea and you said local bands, could be independent bands, could be younger bands, my first thought was, that's insane. I'm like, how many people can you get that's on the local scene? But then quickly, when Jewel started bringing a couple of the bands around to play the music, and I'm thinking like Dreambox Mechanics, remember correctly, Overwinter, Jen Peg, Vita and the Wolf,
Brandon Messin,
another, that's a great call, St. Ricketts, that you also found. It was really possible. And we talk about passion. Over this past week, and I thank you because you mentioned this to me during the show, there was people out there wondering why we do what we do, etc. And you're pointing your finger at me like, look at that guy. That guy is loving it. He's feeling it. It's in his blood. It's in his bones. Like, yeah, man. And that's how I felt when you quickly introduced me to a couple of these great bands. I'm like, oh, this is so going to work. This is so going to work.
And they're itching. They're just like anything to get their music out there and play and be heard and just talk about it. Like, that's their dream. So we're just trying to be a platform where they can be heard. And now we're getting to know people and can expand and like set up shows and everything. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time. And I think, I think it's just well worth it. And it's been a long haul, but it's been a fun journey, and it's fun work too. So it's good.
Yeah, it's a good mix of work. It's a good mix of work and fun, because like I said, we went out this past weekend, we had a good time, a little pizza, some cocktails at the pub, great, and we took a nice long ride home and just talked and just brainstormed and etc.
I lost my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And like doing this show, listening to music, sharing something with you, like, hey, this band's coming on, or vice versa, like, hey, I found these people. And I don't care what anybody says. First of all, like I said, if you don't watch the show, don't judge the show. Second, don't try and tell me what you're doing, because you get an opportunity to see what we're doing. Third, you're not going to get a more passionate duo about each and every one of them people out there than us. And you're right too. They all say, yeah, I want to come on the show. And they keep asking me, like, I want to come on the show. I want to talk on it. I want people to watch. And I said to some of them, I'm like, well, what if it's only like 50 views? Like, I don't care. That's 50 more people that seen this yesterday. You know what I mean?
Right. If it gets out to one person, and the main thing with these bands is you have to get out to shows. You have to see them live. I mean, it's just such a different experience seeing them live and perform as compared to, their album. So if you can, go to a show, support local artists, and have a good time.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Of course, this past weekend was Strange Culture. Jules got the shirt on. The show was incredible. Big shout out to Nick and Noah and Mason and Garrett. My God, I almost forgot. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to Paul Coach, who handles these kids, and his wife, and Jasmine, and the people that follow them on a regular. There's some names I'm forgetting. Trust me, I love you. How much did it cost to get in, Jewel?
Nothing.
Exactly. It costs nothing to walk into this very nice, large pub/restaurant with a nice big stage. I mean, bigger, again, no offense, bigger than a stage at like Dobbs. bigger than a
Right.
stage at like even, it's about the size of Sweeney's, maybe bigger than Sweeney's. A nice size stage. And it costs nothing to get in. And this band, Strange Culture, I'll keep saying the name, because everybody's saying the name right now. Jewel, shout out to you for finding once again. But find them. Follow them. See them if you're in the area, because God, it feels like a real concert, Jewel.
Yeah, and they're going to be playing this weekend, right? I think is it Saturday, Bartow?
Yes.
Bartow's up by Pottstown as well, but man, well worth it. And just go see a show and see those guys. And just seeing them, when did we first see them? Was it early summer, spring? When we first saw them?
About a year ago, at least.
A year ago? I'm losing my
Yeah.
mind. But yeah, I just seeing them then and now, and just seeing how just cohesive and just more together they are. It was insane. And they're just insane talents and just Strange Culture, man. Go
Yeah.
see a show. Yes. What?
I'll
Hi.
check it out. They are
Hi.
amazing.
You gonna promote? Because I can't talk anymore.
Yeah.
Miss Joey is in the house. Let's hear it. Tell the people out there on YouTube, etc., what to do with the Yo Show.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Hit that like button in the face, but don't break your screen. And we have American Happy Holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. She's a little early, but why not?
Whatever.
And she stole my pop doll that Jeff gave me.
Hold up, I'll go get it.
There was two. One was hers and one was yours. You said the
Yeah.
green monster was more hers. Yeah.
Duck stole the green monster, the alien.
Really?
In Toy
Oh.
Story. Yeah.
How nice. Hey, Duck has a special place in my heart too. Forever.
She said if you have any Pokemon that you don't want, she
Yes,
will
I will
gladly
take them.
Gladly take them off your hands.
The Pokemons are usually some of the more expensive ones. So
Yeah, I can gather that. But yeah, look. What's her name?
Unless any of you like Five Nights at Freddy's, I've got this.
Give me right now.
Really?
We just watched
Right
that.
now.
She's like the
Right
biggest
now.
fan.
Right
Mr.
now.
Hip
Calm
Hop.
down. Calm down.
I will put it on your mother's reserve list.
I just watched that
know,
movie.
that's good because, like I said, I do those ones I open on the show, and sometimes I get ones I'm like, it's not really in my bag. And you're like, yeah, I'll take that and that and that. And that's awesome. This is yours. Joey, it is now yours.
All right.
Yay.
I'll pay for it. That's awesome.
No, sorry.
No, yeah, she loves Five Nights at Freddy's.
She's gotta get-
Pokemon. I can't believe the resurgence of this
You?
Yes.
No.
cartoon. I can't.
Can we
understand.
just talk about how scared you were when you played Five Nights at Freddy's at VR?
Oh my god! Well, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Is it
I
scary?
played the virtual reality game on the Oculus.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you're like in it. You're sitting in the booth and you have to like shut the doors, but you actually have to look.
Oh,
And there are these like mechanical Chuck E. Cheese monsters.
Chuck E. Cheese monsters.
You do, and you have to like shut the door. I was screaming. I cannot play.
wow.
I love horror movies, but guess what? I can close my eyes if it gets scary. When you're in a virtual reality horror
Yeah,
game,
I'd
you're
be
in
scared.
it, man. You have to like pull the trigger, and it's
No,
just scary.
And you run out of battery too, so you can't keep the door.
Oh yeah, you can't close the door at points, so they just get in, and
Ah!
Oh, and the lights you can't like.
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, truly.
I'm creeped. I'm definitely creeped.
I think you guys like do 6 days.
6 days? No, thank you. I can't get through. I can't survive one night.
At Freddy's. There's supposed to be 5 nights at Freddy's.
Well, it just gets progressively worse
Oh,
and
yeah.
more and more scary.
What else do I have that?
But the
I
movie
don't,
wasn't that scary.
this is actually a neat thing too. How about Kingdom Headers? I don't even know what this is.
Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts? Does that say Hearts? Yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
I'll take it.
She'll take it. That is a video game. I don't think we ever.
Okay, so I'm not familiar, and if she would appreciate them, yeah, sure. Like, I don't know what any of these things are.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
I know some of them are like, these awesome,
not in tune.
these Darth Vader.
Oh damn!
Oh
The
yeah,
designer series, look at-
we'll steal that.
Yeah, they're all designer series. Like, this one's like
That's really cool.
camouflage, and they got some cool ones. The other one was the one I actually didn't find was American Flag. This Darth Vader was American Flag. This one's kind of like a, can't really see it with the flag,
Oh,
and they were
that's
kind of like
decent.
gray and yellow. Yeah, these were cool. They were like twice the price because they're the art series, but worth it. I got too many.
Yeah, my sister goes nuts for anything Star Wars.
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. One of my favorite characters. I think we had that topic one time, like the most iconic characters in movies. I think I had Darth Vader as one. Did I not?
Yeah. And you guys have the same birthday. You both like
Me-
Star Wars.
Oh, right. Me and yours. I thought me and Darth Vader.
You and Darth Vader.
Me and Darth Vader had the same birthday.
I had the same
So,
birthday as Mozart.
That's pretty cool. I had the same birthday as Robert E. Lee.
Oh, yeah?
No. Ulysses S. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant.
One of them. Sir
Herman Edwards. Herman Edwards used to play for the Eagles. And Ace Frehley from Kiss. That's like my
that's
my
a
big
cool one.
That's my big one.
We almost had him at some point.
Oh, we were so close. Oh, what happened there?
All right, May 1st celebrity birthdays. Let me look this up real quick. This is Tim McGraw. He's cool.
There you go.
Jamie Dornan, Julie Benz from Dexter.
Wow.
I don't
Oh my
know.
God, there's so many.
I don't know any of these people though.
Wait, but can I like read the names?
Can you? I don't know. It's like Merker. It's all right.
What?
I don't know any, but those
Yeah.
are cool.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm gonna
I
count
got
how many.
Christian Grey.
Tim
Tim McGraw. Isn't he from Philly? Aren't they from Philly?
Well, Tug played in Philly. I don't know if the kids are from Philly or not.
Oh.
I gotta look at. Oh, speaking of being from Philly, I gotta do this piece real quick. Absolutely got it. I almost forgot. Jewel, you're gonna have to cancel life when this happens, and we need you there.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
I gotta find
I'm
the
already
banner.
taken off.
Where's the banner?
Clear
the
my
ba-
schedule.
I know I got that much banner. It is the return of Taylor Acorn.
Woo!
2024 Good Enough Tour. And Jewel, as we know, of course. Let me find the banner as I chit-chat through this. Taylor Acorn is just an absolutely sensational artist. An incredible woman, incredible music. I lost the banner. Anyway, the banner gives shout-out to our friends, George Powell, of course, and Ricky Jabarin, who are part of the
Ricky!
band. Ricky, very cool that they're part of the band, the touring band. Taylor is absolutely incredible live. I don't know why I'm telling everybody this. They're going to run out and get tickets. It's April 24th. Jewel, the tour starts March 7th in Melbourne, Australia, ends May 11th in Houston, Texas. There is a stop here in Philly, PA. Tell me what you're thinking, because I know what I'm thinking.
I'm there. I'm clearing my schedule. I'm so upset I missed them last time. It's just going to be incredible. I would love to go to a Nashville show. I was just talking, and
yeah.
we have to make like a Nashville trip with like fun people. We do that soon.
I'm down. The Yo Show visits Nashville.
But I have a funny story because during the
Oh,
Eagles
right.
game halftime, I go out with my with Joey and my niece and my nephew. We go to get Steve steaks halftime, and this car pulls up next to Steve's, and I'm like, I swore it was George. Like, I'm like, is that George? And then I'm
He's
like
on-
looking at this guy for like 10 minutes. I'm like, I think that's George.
George!
And they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And then he turned around. It wasn't George.
He's on tour, actually. But, yeah, Taylor Acorn. So what I want to do, like I said, I want to play a special exit song tonight, but I also want to play one more song if we can before the night ends.
All
I
right.
know it's 9:53, but this is a band, and I've gotten to be very close with the father who runs the band, John Simons. Love you, John. Love your effort for the Philly music scene and projects possibly to come. You're very cool. You do a great job with the Philly music scene as well, like Joel and I. And we talk about how we're on the same page. This is what it takes. Sarah Spicer is on the show. I love her. Oh, I love Sarah Spicer. I adore you. But anyway, John Simons, big shout out to John, his wife Kim. They do a lot for the local music scene as well. And I wanted to share a song from his band, his young men, if you will. It is the Grimjacks. This is a very cool one called Prom. I don't know what I said that was funny. Did I say something funny?
So she did something funny. Sorry.
Oh, okay, not Prom. I'm like, what did I say? So this is Prom from the Grimjacks. We're going to play. It's about 2.5 minutes long. We'll come back, do another word or two. We wrote in, do topics. That's fine. We'll say goodbye, and then we'll play another song to leave. So we'll be right back in a moment here on the Yo Show. Absolutely, positively right. The Grimjacks with Prom and Jewel. Again, shout out to John Simon. Shout out to the guys, Jordan and the twins. Shout out to all of you for a great job that you do. The reason why, Jewel, I absolutely had to play that one, besides the fact I love the song, besides the fact that I love them, my voice, a snippet from the show, has been taken and will appear in their new music video. There'll be a snippet of me saying, hot new song, and it cuts and says, like, the Grimjacks, and it's my voice. And wow, am I psyched about that.
You are an official music video star.
Right? I'm so honored.
You're an official VJ. You're like MTV VJ extraordinaire.
We still have a chance at working that. Us and the fellows of Pod Nation have kicked around the idea of us doing it as well. Because, of course, Musex does a great job. Like 35,000 people watch Musex on Roku. So that's pretty fabulous. Pod Nation, Ray said he's getting thousands of people now to do, and we're on there, so check us out. Our stats I heard were pretty darn good, too. Why not?
We're on TV, man.
But you're on TV, man. Joey, you're on TV. You could go to school and tell all your classmates, I'm on TV, bro. Or what would it be?
Do you tell your friends you're on YouTube?
I mean, kind of.
Wow, embarrass of the guy. Not the mom, the guy.
She wears Yosho shirts to school.
All right. Now, do you tell them that the Yosho is fire or the Yosho slaps?
Yo, what's the lingo now? Is it fire?
Is
Slay.
it fire?
Slay?
Slay? So we slay? So we slay, you're saying?
All day. All day we slay.
And Mom just dirked out. And the way she goes, ladies and gentlemen, how to chase a child out of the room in mere moments. Start using it. Well, not so much we. I've become that person. Like the young guys in their 20s at work, I'll be like, chill, bro. And they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
And they walk away and I'm like, that dork.
Bro drives me nuts. I can't stand bro. She calls me bro sometimes. I'm like,
really? I like
I'm
brah.
not your bro. No.
I like brah. What's up, brah?
No,
No,
I
love
despise it. I'd rather her call me dude, anything other than bro.
So, bro.
Well, I'm glad you don't hate dude because I've grown accustomed to calling you dude.
Yeah, I'm
with the feed.
dude. I
See?
don't know where to fit it in.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh God,
No,
dude.
I call you dude on the regular.
Dude, man,
Dude, man, boss, chief,
God, so simple.
buddy,
buddy.
not bro.
Not
Sup,
brah. Not
bro?
brah. I like brah. Sup, brah? I say that way too much. I guess we'll save the topic for next week. It did say the Kobe Bryant one, which was cool. Did it
I
come up
didn't.
out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Set that right in there. But yeah, it's 10 o'clock and my bladder's killing me.
All right, I do want to talk about something that a little thing that me and Joel have. It's called frisson.
Oh, there's another one.
Frisson is the way the body and brain reacts to music. Scientists state that the actual feel that you get, very few people get quite the feeling. And for Jewel to point me out the other night and me to watch you in your embrace, we have the frisson. We got that special brain when it comes to music and entertaining and such. So again, I will geek out. I will thank you because you make this, man. You are fantastic. Could not wish for anybody better to be here doing the show with me every Tuesday night.
Hey man, let's keep chugging and keep doing our thing and the way we want to do it. And yeah, it's just getting bigger and it's expanding and growing. And having Ray on tonight was just really cool because just seeing the offshoots that you've done and going and joining people without it, it's really become like a community thing and a brotherhood and not a competition. And it's just cool to see we can help each other and grow together. So it's just fun and we're going to continue to do our thing.
Absolutely. We thank
Go see some shows this weekend. Go out.
Please.
See a band.
Oh my God, real quick. Oh
yeah, Saturday.
And I got a song for you too. Saturday, this Saturday, November 11th at the Awesome Liberty Tavern at 1937 McCade Boulevard in Woodland, Pennsylvania. Some of the best cheesesteaks. Delicious. Nice bar, nice layout. Atlanta Brokers Productions brings us an awesome show. The Grimjacks, who we just played, are going to be one of the opening acts. Noah Gibney and Hub Chace, and of course it's Melody Trucks. Melody Trucks, a longtime music legend with family blood in music, featuring the Fitzky brothers. It's going to be a great show, Jewel. Liberty Tavern this Saturday, 8 p.m. Get down there, free parking, free admissions. Another great show by Elena Brocas Productions. Jewel, I will be there. If you can, we'd love to have you.
Man, it's so cool. And yeah, just get out and see these guys. They work so hard, and it really just shows when they're live. So go out and see live music right here locally. I mean, not for Ray, he's kind of far, but for us Philly people,
Yes.
go out and see them. Grim Jacks.
It's once again, as I'm looking, I don't see a free admission. Come on, it's free.
Free admission, free parking. What more can you need?
Man, and the cheesesteaks are really good. All right, so thank you everybody for staying a little bit longer tonight. Thank you, Jewel, for hanging tough. But your reward, of course, is our exit song tonight, and the band is the one and only Milo Sky that I know we all love around here. The song
Where's
is
Joey? That's her dude.
Oh yeah, the song is Whose Garden Is This? Unfortunately, it's not a video still. It's just a still. But the song is sensational. Milo Sky will take us out tonight. Jeff the Shark Perini, Jewel Tatey, reminding you next week, Jewel, Twist It on the program. Oh yeah, Twist It.
I forgot to. Next week, I'll bring it out.
That's a go, definitely. Twist It is next week, a sensational band. Don't forget, Yo Wednesday tomorrow night. Myself, Angela Marie back on the hot seat as we welcome Vividly Vixen. Jewel, have a great night. Thank you so much for always being you.
Hey, thank you for being you, man. Hardest working man in podcasting.
Love
heard
you
it here.
for it. Right. And I know some people hate that, but we did hear it here. For you, just as for Jewel. Whose garden is this? Milo Sky. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Vividly Vixen, live 8 p.m.
Bye-bye.
You're much too pretty, yeah, to be answering calls at the car wash station, baby. You forget who you are, so sing me something since a color, sing it just for me. Tell me a secret, then another that I swear I'll keep. Another story from the summer that I won't believe. While you're up the
Amen, bro.
color rolling down my sleeve, and make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, gonna do this again. You make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain. Why you got me questioning? Whose garden is this? I need to know. Whose garden is this? Like I ain't seen before. Whose garden is this? I need to know. Garden is this? Much too happy, just sitting under the stars, singing something about the desert, baby. But you never had a love like ours. So paint me all these pretty patterns that I've seen before. Tell me nothing really matters, cause you're so damn cold. Then go ahead and light a fire right before the doors. Since you had all of my feelings, let me heal all yours. And make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, gonna do this again. You make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain. Why you got me questioning? Whose garden is this? I need to know. Whose garden is this? Like I ain't seen before. Whose garden is this? I need to know. Whose garden is this? Singing songs about the summer till they all turn gray. And I don't know about the winter, but your fall seems great. But instead of making memories, I soon replace. I remember them more pleasantly when I see that angel's face. You'll hear me say, you'll hear me say, you're much too pretty to be answering calls at the car wash station, baby. You forget who you are, so sing me something since a color, sing it just for me. Tell me a secret, then another that I swear I'll keep. Another story from the summer that I won't believe. While you're wrapped around my collar, rolling down my sleeve. Then make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, gonna do this again. And make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain, baby, make my lips stain. Why you got me questioning? Whose garden is this? I need to know. Whose garden is this? Like I ain't seen before. Whose garden is this? I need to know. Garden is songs about the summer till they all turn gray. And I don't know seems great. But instead of making memories of serene place, I'll remember them more pleasantly when I see that angel's face. Singing songs about the summer till they all turn gray. And I don't know about the winter, but your fall seems great. But instead of making memories of serene place, I'll remember them more pleasantly when I see that angel's face. Singing songs about the summer till they all turn gray. And I don't know about the winter, but your fall seems great. But instead of making memories of serene place, I'll remember them more pleasantly when I see that angel's face.